Right,
Oh.
just fucking get this over with. Welcome back to Two Dudes News and Brews. We're here. We got Cole here, and then today we've got a different guest who will be coming up here shortly. I guess first just a little stuff. Today I started up a TikTok account for us, Cole.
Oh, for both of us? Like,
Well,
little clips?
it's kind of I basically just turned the TikTok account I had into this one just to save time.
Just give me that password so we can individually update from it.
I kind of don't remember the password.
Is
but
TikTok going away?
I think so.
I don't know one way or the other.
I'm not entirely sure. But we've got somebody's opinion that we can get on that here in just a little bit. Cole, as always, what are you drinking, bud?
A little bit of Tito's.
Tito's.
Yeah, I got a beer here too.
I'm drinking I think it's Sun King. That's who it is.
Got a Weenack?
Yeah, I do. It's quite tasty.
It's pretty good. The cream ale's better, but
I don't know if I've had that one yet.
It's like their most popular one. That's kind of surprising.
Huh. I usually just go for their Scottish style ale just because it's kind of like a cheaper Guinness, I think.
I've been informed to tell the viewers that I went to a cookout earlier and had a couple cocktails there. So there you go, Andy.
Yeah, he's drinking off the job. You show up to your job sober. Jesus, I should fire you. I just said show up to your job sober. Fuck.
Yeah, that's the opposite.
Showing up to your job where you're supposed to get drunk, already drunk. This is not the type of job to do that with, Cole. We do not like over-succeeders in this.
Honestly,
area.
by your delivery of that, I would say you maybe have had more than I've had to drink so far.
No,
Possibly
not really.
3/4 of a bottle of whiskey already.
No, I did a few shots though.
I'm sure.
I got to get my happiness level up so I can deal with your dumb.
Sunday fun day, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody can say that their tentative job is to get drunk on Sunday. What do you do for work? I get on Sunday and record it.
You tell people that this is your job?
It's the closest thing I've got to a job, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's the best joke you've told so.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, time to introduce the guest here, Mr. Matt Buckner. Welcome back to the show, Matt.
Thanks. Hang on, my mic stand's fighting me.
Matt, I've been forced to disclose the fact that I went to a cookout earlier today and I had a couple beverages. It was a big deal.
Bastard.
Before we started, Andy's like, "You got to say that." I was like, "I don't really want to," and then he got really legitimately mad at me.
I was.
So then I didn't say it.
I had the perfect segue.
I didn't. I waited till it was too late, and then I said it. I said it when it was inappropriately too late.
Fair enough.
Constantly, I will be referring back to it. I've had a couple cocktails before I came here, so.
What'd you have?
White Claw and Coronas.
Yeah, boy.
So, yeah.
To get the Cougars, you must first drink like the Cougars.
Dude, that's fine. They walk up, see you drinking a White Claw, they'll come up. Oh, that's my drink. What's your favorite flavor? Can't tell me any of those conversations I've had with women. Shoulder. What flavor you like? And then they all got an opinion on it. If you say grapefruit.
Oh, is grapefruit like a big controversial flavor to like?
Grapefruit's the best.
I agree. My mom doesn't like them, so she'll buy the varieties, and I get all the grapefruit out of them. So
there you go.
That's fine.
I always see people drinking like the wild berry one, or something along those lines.
I had a
or like the black cherry.
I had a clementine today. Clementine White Claw.
Nice.
So
I didn't know
small orange.
That was the thing, but yeah, it was good, and it tasted.
Clementines aren't real. Matt, what are you drinking?
Gin and juice.
Oh.
Last time I was on here, I was drinking gin. This is that same bottle of gin, and it was a very similar experience of, I have to have a drink.
It's called a Glen.
We don't have many rules.
It's called a Glen, actually.
Yeah, so it's just more gin, same gin from last time. The bottle's almost done, finally.
Oh
That
no.
wouldn't last long in Andy's household.
That's not true. I'm not a huge fan of gin.
That's fine.
More of a whiskey guy. Clearly.
Very much so. Oh yeah. Well,
I'm a whiskey guy in the winter, gin in the summer and warmer months.
I like whatever's free.
That's fair.
that's always a good idea. Yeah, I enjoy free alcohol.
Right on. What do you want to talk about today? Do you have?
Well,
I
I
told this.
actually have a little story that actually
Okay.
just happened about an hour ago.
Oh,
okay,
no.
go for it.
So I went downstairs and looked at my fridge because I was like, well, what beers do I have for tonight? I only had two. I had Sun King, Wee Mac, and then the other 1985 Voodoo Ranger that I had. So I was like, oh, I got to go buy beer.
Not
So-
from 1985.
No, not from 1985. But I had to go down to the liquor store that's down the street, which is very nice.
Very nice.
Because I can walk if I need to.
Nice.
But I go in there and I was sitting there. I was looking at I was looking at 40s for a second because I was like, maybe I'll find like a big 40 that I can just have.
Old
that's
E.
cheap. I did not grab the old E.
He knows what's up. He knows what's up.
I want to drink for pleasure
Steel
for at least.
reserve.
I thought about getting that.
I got
just for
Andy
the fun
drunk
Of it.
for the first time in his life. I gave him 2 of those, and I was not drinking
Really?
that night. Yeah, and he drank both of them, and he kept
yeah.
on talking about Greg and Matt.
Oh, I love it.
Sounds
It
about
was
right.
so-
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, I was like, man, Matt's so cool.
Such a nice guy. And
I'd say-
then Greg. Greg's a
Which
nice guy
Greg?
too. What's his last name? Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But anyway, so I was like, well, I didn't see any like domestics that really sparked my interest. So I went over to like where all their cold like craft beers were.
Ooh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
Andy. I'm not too good for Budweiser.
And
Dick.
well, you can call me a but what I saw over there was I found racist beer. It's called Yellow Belly beer.
I drink it. It's a beer. I don't give a shit.
And this is the bottle.
Ha, you bought it. Oh.
No,
okay.
I didn't buy it. Yeah, here's the
Oh.
bottle.
Hmm.
Yeah, so when I saw it, I just saw like the cease and
Oh, okay.
desist on the side of it because it wasn't printed
Looks
exactly
like a little
this.
mask. With a
And I
hood.
was like, oh,
It
well,
looks like a bottle of bitters.
it looks like
yeah.
Somebody put a hood on top of a beer bottle.
What the?
Got the
How
little
is
eye
that
holes.
allowed to be sold?
Welcome to where I was at. So
I don't.
I
doesn't
picked it
bother
up.
me
I
much.
thought it was.
I don't know.
I thought it was a cease and desist. Like they put like the paper bag on it, just like because they had like some image that they weren't allowed to use that was copyrighted. So I picked it up. I was looking at it, and then I saw like the 2 holes, and I was like, I started looking at it more, and I was like, this looks a little like a KKK beer. And I was like, originally I was gonna buy it because I was like, who else finds a paper bag beer? And then the more I held it, the more I felt just awful.
Andy
It's
puts
like,
the
I
brewery out
shouldn't-
of business.
I shouldn't be like holding this.
It's a,
I mean, I know I'm in Indiana, but like
It's a beer.
Jesus Christ.
It's whatever.
Oh my lord, dude, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Apparently there's a whole thing going on. I even typed in Yellow Belly, and as you can see up here, if it's showing it, it just says Yellow Belly beer KKK. Like,
Oh, is that like a
there's-
KKK beer?
No, I
perhaps?
think it's some place out of
Huh.
like Sweden.
Oh
or
yeah, that
something.
okay. It actually looks worse than those other pictures.
Yeah, it is not good. Like
Some of the
it's-
other ones make it look actually a little like we're the top.
Yeah, like this, and it's
Yeah.
like
Oh, that's probably not good then.
yeah. So that was my fun little experience a little bit ago, where I was about ready to buy some racist beer.
We all knew you wanted.
And-
You bought 2 of them. You got them in your.
No, I actually grabbed the 40 of Miller Lite, and then or maybe it's just a tall boy. I think I just grabbed a tall boy, and then some Lake Superior beer.
That is so wild.
Yeah, I wonder how many other racist beers there are.
Wonder who works on their marketing team.
Somebody
Yeah,
who is
I
not
just-
a nice person.
How is that like?
Everybody was like, "Yeah, that's fine."
What the hell?
If
Oh,
it didn't have the little eye holes, it'd be fine.
Holy so I typed in the racist beer, and the first thing that pops up is this Yellow Belly beer.
What on earth?
But it's supposed to be anti-racism. Dubbed
Oh, well, of
racist Yellow Belly beer
Of
is
course,
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a whole conversation right there.
Yes, it is. And what a perfect day to find something like that.
Because I just I don't feel like I would ever see that and be like, oh yeah, I bet they're fighting against racism. Like,
Yeah, like
I would see that and just be like, who the
why would you need
Drink
this?
who let Jimbo
Well-
get his beer line out in the open?
If you're going to a KKK rally and you would like a nice, refreshing cold one, that's probably the beer to get for that. I would
Yeah.
assume.
I mean, I
Would
hope those
know.
people once again, I hope those people aren't watching this.
That's insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess like in a way it would definitely help you know which beer is yours in the cooler.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, probably. but-
Nobody's going to want to drink it.
Good Lord. Is that a High Life?
It's a Miller Lite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna run and get beer.
I was drinking High Life, but
I was gonna run and get a beer, and I was gonna get something bougie. I was gonna get like a sour or something. But it was too late.
Yeah.
I've just finished Avatar.
Oh.
Legend of Korra.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was like that last episode that's like 10 years long,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
didn't realize that I was that close to it, and so I was gonna do also some yard work before I hopped on this call,
Ah,
but
wow.
it'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
well, I mean, it'll still be light out after we're done, so
True, maybe.
Yeah.
we're getting all the way over in Denver.
Yeah. I mean, you might be too tipsy to mow the lawn, but we'll see. I don't know how much gin's in
Actually, I have
that.
to do a bunch of weed eating.
Oh, you'll be fine. You can get hammered.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're
just grab some
fine.
scissors. Just grab some scissors and go out, and you'll be fine.
That's how we did it when I was in the mountains.
Anyway, Cole, what's your opinion on watching Avatar stuff?
We're talking about the show or the movie.
We already
terrible.
talked about the shitty movie. Of course, we only touched
I'm
on
not
the-
gonna rewatch it. I watched it as a kid. I'm not gonna rewatch it.
Movie. The show?
Yeah, I'm not gonna rewatch it.
What's with the I'm too cool
I don't
for Avatar.
No, it's I
I'm
watched it
too
as a
grown
kid.
for it.
I'd rather
grown
watch
for
Drake
it.
and Josh again. Honestly,
I'm cool. I'm grown. I don't watch cartoons no more.
I watch cartoons.
He
Like
doesn't-
Rick and Morty. I watch.
He watches cartoons that dumb the mind.
Rick and Morty doesn't dumb the mind. That's a load of shit.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
for intellectuals. For
Yeah.
sure.
It's like when Rick's burping, and he's like got that drool constantly.
Rick and Morty, they're gonna look
Absolutely.
at in like 50 years and be like, "This is the work of scholars."
I watch
Oh,
quality
God,
shows
I
like
hope
Trailer
not.
Park Boys. Actually, no, I'm kidding.
Okay, well that's a
okay.
good one.
Have you
That's
tried
actually kinda-
Letterkenny?
Wait, what?
Have you tried Letterkenny?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, do you have Hulu?
No.
Well, first step, get Hulu.
I've just been watching nothing but Seinfeld lately. Again,
Dude, I can't get into Seinfeld.
Really?
why?
I've tried so many times and I just get bored
It's
every single
hilarious.
time I watch it. No, it's just Seinfeld yelling at the camera.
That's
Like-
what makes it good.
And then Kramer comes in and is like doing some weird shit.
He,
It's
he
great.
does he does random yelling at the camera.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't watched it in a while, but I
It's so
remember
relatable. Like everything they're like yelling about, I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what. It's. I love it. I
I
love
don't
it.
know. I had a friend who loved it when we were growing up, and he would always try and get me to watch it. And whenever you turn it on, I'd just be like, I don't get what's
Well, maybe
happening.
that's
I
why.
never got
It
into
might be
Friends
because
ever.
like you're
Oh,
the
see,
Fri-
I loved Friends.
I didn't
Friends
get
was
into
great.
it. I love Jennifer.
Except
Aniston,
for all
but
the controversies in Friends. They
What do you
were
mean?
on a break. I 100%.
yeah.
Like, what I
Controversy.
hate is, like, I stand on Ross's side there, but in the rest of the show, Ross is a little who I can't
Oh
stand
yeah.
most of
Ross
the
is
time.
Ross is an the
He just
majority of the
whines
show.
all the time, but he was right about that one thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I never.
That and he had a
watched it,
monkey.
really.
He had a monkey, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty legit. Do you know how cool it'd be to have to, like, have a studio monkey?
It was
Just a
badass.
monkey that walks around the
Teach
studio.
teach it the difference between, like, an XLR and a quarter inch and be like, hey, bring me a quarter inch.
It probably smell bad, but other than that,
No, you keep him in
Yeah.
a little cage. You'd have to hire
But
a
then you
janitor.
can't
Just
get the quarter inch.
yeah, you can if you have it like a really long cage that just
Get
leads
a
to all
patch
the
bay.
quarter-inch cables.
Put the patch bay in the cage, giant cage.
Have a
Oh,
monkey work the
shit.
patch bay. Dress him up like one of those little like 1920s phone operators that he could just
Yeah.
sit there and plug it in.
Tell him what you need. He'll
No,
get ya.
just give him standard audio engineer attire, black shirt and
I was about-
shorts.
I was about to say, yeah,
Maybe a pair of boots.
black V-neck, maybe a V-neck.
Maybe a V-neck too.
Backwards hat. He'll be good to go.
That'd be
Keeps
sick,
on walking to
though.
his car to check his mix in his car, you know.
I gotta see how this sounds on car stereo.
And I do very little of studio audio engineering. I do I'm all live sound. I still know that.
Oh man, I do that shit all the time.
Always-
It's so funny because like I'll be like working for a client or something, and I'll be finishing their mix, and I'll just take it out to my car to listen to it, which sounds so unprofessional, but I'm like,
No, you have
literally
to.
the
Yeah.
best way for me to tell if I mix up or not.
I had to do that over this, like towards the end of the semester last year for like a whole like best of live album that I had to do for Beneficence Records. And I got done with it and I was like, I gotta go to the store.
Wait,
I'll
are you
just-
an engineer for Benny Rack?
I was. Kind
Oh,
of.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was, because I couldn't get into 495 because not enough
Oh.
people signed up.
What?
Yeah, not enough people signed up, so he was just
What,
like,
did everybody run from Willie?
oh no, not 495. That's what I'm in now. It was the
425.
yeah, if that's the one that Thompson does.
Yeah. Oh,
fancy
so you
one.
got out of having to do that last round with
Oh
Tom.
yeah, oh yeah.
No, that's a bummer, dude. He gets cool in 425.
I mean, I'm sure he does. Like, I was just so happy I didn't have to really work with a band. I was going to
No,
work
that's
with
fair.
Alex Moss's band, if you remember him.
Oh, dude, that would have been a
I remember
blast.
that
Yeah,
guy.
he
Oh,
just
yeah.
got married. He just got
Yeah.
married.
I was so excited to do it too, and then fucking COVID hit, and I was like,
Oh yeah, that would have been a blast working with him. It would have
Yeah.
been easy too, because he would
literally
Seems like a nice guy.
the weekend
Yeah.
I was supposed to go record them because it was going to be like a live session, like a live recording thing in somebody's basement or something. Well, that's just where it was to give off that kind of live feel.
Yeah.
And then like the week before is when Ball State shut down, and I was so pissed. I had mics picked out. I figured out, like, I had listened to like the majority of their
Damn.
songs to figure out how to mix everything properly. Like, I was ready to do this, and then they're like, "Okay, so we're not doing this now." I was like,
That sucks.
I haven't been excited about doing anything this semester.
That's so
Like-
brutal.
Yeah, so then I got stuck with just doing like 5 other live rap
Rap?
concerts, and
That's
all
way
of-
better.
No,
Just kidding.
the amount of
Good old
s-
Muncie rap.
the amount of editing that I had to do
Slap
just
Oh,
for
dude.
all the
censoring.
auto-tune. Oh.
No auto tune. All I did was compress the vocals and pan everything, and then just go through and
Oh,
just
yeah, for
reverse.
Be honest,
Every-
Andy.
Press
Every
the
other word.
life out of
Did
it.
you use a preset for the compression?
Oh yeah, I did, and then I tweaked it from there.
For shame. For shame.
Oh,
just kidding.
hang on. Let's talk about this really quickly.
I use
I
a
saw
preset on my
TikTok
live
this week.
thing.
I saw a TikTok this week that was this chick who had just bought a Blue Yeti microphone.
Oh
Yeah.
And she was like, it sounds like garbage. And so some guy decides that he's going to be today's audio guru.
Oh,
And he's like, all right, so you bought, he says something silly. Like, he's got a good vibe at the beginning. And then he just spews off a bunch of stuff that just one thing after another is like, so you don't know what you're talking about. Because he's like, all right. He's like, so you bought a Blue Yeti microphone and you found out that it sounds like hot, poopy, stinky garbage or something like that.
I like it so far.
I know. And then he's like, so here's how you're going to want to set up your EQ. He was like, you're going to want to make sure that you do a boost in the 75 hertz range. And immediately I was like, for a female voice? Really? That's weird. That's odd, but okay. I mean, interesting. I guess that works for you. And he had completely, and I mean, like, we did this here and there. Like, he completely cut off everything like below 75, which is fine. I don't have any quarrels with that. But then he also has a hard cut at like 12K as well. And like for voiceover stuff, I'm looking at that going,
why
that's
would
an
you?
interesting call, especially for female voice too, that
Yeah.
has more of that airiness to it.
Mhm.
And then he goes, and then you're going to want to put a compressor on it. He's like, basically what it does is it makes the loudest part quieter. And I was like,
I mean, you're not wrong, but you're not right.
Exactly. I was like, you're not wrong, but that's a
Like
terrible way to explain a
the point's
compressor.
right here, and you're kind of here.
Yeah.
I
Like,
cannot tell you how many live audio engineers have worked with or mixed with or done stuff that literally look at whatever you have. It doesn't matter what you have. And they go, no, this is one of them. They're like, this is
Yep.
complete. And then they change it. And sometimes it sounds okay. A lot of the
Okay.
time it sounds like
yep.
because there's a lot of there's another pandemic going on. It's called I work with a lot of really good live sound guys. I've worked with some that suck. The problem is a lot of these guys either are musicians who aren't quite good enough to play out and they want to be involved somehow.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they'll buy a bunch of gear and then they don't
Just
know how to
fuck
use
around
it,
with
or they're just really rich and they buy a bunch of gear and they have really nice gear that like the pro guys that are really good have, but they don't know how to use it. Like I won't bore you guys with some of the stories of some
No,
of
Thank
I
these.
know
God.
exactly
I
what you're
just-
talking about.
yeah, I'm
I
sure-
meet them left and right as well.
Yeah, we both kind of know.
I think a lot of it too is like a lot of the sound guys. They're all like in their like 50s and
They
At
can't
least from
hear
what I've
also.
seen.
And they
Yeah,
all just
hearing
learned
loss.
from some other random dude.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Like, it's never
and-
like, oh, yeah, I actually worked over in Germany with Neumann for a couple years. It's never that guy. It's
Ted,
Joe
let-
Schmo who's like, yeah,
Ted
I
gave
like
me
to put
this
a bunch
old speaker.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, I like to boost 400, like 8 dB for vocals. And I'm like,
also just the
What?
concept of all these older guys grew up doing analog boards, and now things are different. We have X32s. You need to know a digital system nowadays. It's pretty much. I mean,
one of my
one-
favorite comment.
What?
Hey, can you turn down the trebles a little bit for me?
what? Who? What?
Too much
I
of
had
that.
to, okay,
Ooh.
actually, so fun. We'll just do a totally brief aside here.
Okay.
Matt Weiss passed me a live sound gig one time.
I don't take those anymore because of people. But go ahead. I don't do those anymore because I'm just tired of like you got to turn on your monitor. No, turns it up. I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Well,
Anyway, go
dude,
ahead.
Wait till you hear how this shit was set
I-
up.
I've had some. Okay,
So, like,
go ahead.
Actually, like, think about like, okay, so you see my arms.
Yeah.
Think of like you have your whole choir right here. It was a massive massive black church that I was doing it for, and it was for an MLK like weekend thing.
So they didn't have
place-
Yellow Belly beer.
Was packed. No, the place was packed to the brim, and in their situation too, they had like 2 choir leader individuals, and so here's the choir. Now think of my head area as like the whole. It's like there's like the pulpit type thing right here. Pastor's standing like right here. Well, the way they set up their monitors is they had 2 full monitor stacks running up and down alongside the pulpit, pointing backwards. Now, here's where it gets fun. The 2 people leading the choir, who are also lead singers, are facing the choir. So now all of a sudden, you have your monitors pointed directly in your hottest handheld mics on stage.
So that's called feedback.
Yeah. And of course, these 2 people want to hear themselves because they're the leads. So
yeah, so they want
wanna
it to be
hear themselves.
blasting.
Exactly. And so they keep looking at me going, turn it up. I'm going, I literally cannot turn it up.
Well, and that's the thing
anymore.
is people have a lack of knowledge, so they'll get mad and stuff. And even if it's not your fault, it's your fault. If you're a sound guy and anything goes wrong, it's the sound guy's fault. You just got to be
But-
okay with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I've
And
been in-
so,
You gotta deal with
But this
it.
is like my first legit gig that I'm running, and I'm running it for one of my professors.
Nice.
So I
And-
had
As I'm dealing with this, some dude walks by and he goes, "Hey man, can we turn down the trebles?" And I was like,
Nice.
I would run into that situation quite a bit when I was doing tech for singers here at Ball State. And the fun part is that the majority of the stuff we're working with and like the equipment that we have
"Yeah,
is basically obsolete now. Like the majority of it is either like
oh,
broken
it's
or
stupid
just
old Allen
yeah.
and Heath board, isn't it?"
Yeah.
Hey, don't hate on a mix whiz. If it's a mix whiz, those preamps sound very good. That's
They
the only
do.
analog. That's the only analog board I don't talk about.
The mega
Yeah.
church that I do gig work for here is switching to a new Allen and Heath Avantis, and
Is that above the mix whiz? Probably. It's a church. Okay, well then that I can't even that. That's an excellent
yeah,
mixer.
dude, it's a 64 channel 42 bus live mixing station.
See, that's and I don't
Yeah,
know why
see,
you wouldn't
our-
go digital at that
our
point.
Allen
but
and
like,
Heath
it
would-
is. It's
would,
oh, okay.
just light up.
Is it? Oh,
weird.
that's sick.
Ours
like
would
Allen and Heath.
switch lights
same.
without us touching anything. So we'd be sitting there.
Nice.
Tessa would be working on a mix, and then all of a sudden everything would change. So we'd have like one preset going for like all of our all the male vocalists and then all the female vocalists, and then lights would either just go off and we can't see, or it would switch to the female vocalists and we just sit there and go, what? Okay, we don't know who we're turning up now, but we're gonna see what happens.
Good lord.
Wait,
then-
why was it? Why was that happening?
That's a good fucking question. We
Was
never
it-
found out because it
was
didn't
it-
do it again. It only did it that one time.
That's wild.
And then another great
Uh.
thing is that we had one of the singers, because they're all running off wireless mics.
Yeah.
So we had one of them. I think this was at some high school presentation we were doing.
I've got a funny wireless mic story. But
And
go ahead.
so anytime she would turn her head, all you would hear is nothing but static. And we've got like sight of the director, and he just looks over at us and goes,
Yeah.
Like-
oh yeah, because it's
like
your fault.
we're just sitting
Did
there
you guys
looking at him
scan for frequencies though?
going, we
Is my question.
Well,
Because that might be your fault. I mean, I'm not trying to be. a
it's
dick
not
here,
our fault on that
but-
one.
No, I'm just
bud.
saying because I had this happen to me
No,
at a
it's-
gig
no,
recently.
Well, look.
Yeah.
So the frequencies the singers run on, all of those frequencies are like the 600 frequencies, and T-Mobile bought like the copyrights for those frequencies. So we're not technically supposed to have those.
Isn't that wild?
So it's illegal. Did you scan?
Little
though,
bit,
is
yeah.
my question.
No, like we have nothing to really.
You got to scan wireless mics because I did a gig where this guy. Okay,
Welcome to the budget of the university singers.
yeah, I don't know about
The
that.
tech
but like,
budget is garbage.
I did a filling gig and the guy didn't scan and it was bad because it was fine because I was like playing bass, so I was in the back beside the drummer, and then when I moved up it just got really bad because he didn't scan, and then the other lead singer's mic went out because this guy didn't scan, and then the other wireless mic was fine because it was randomly on the right channel. But my thing is,
Yeah.
if you have anything wireless, including my guitar wireless I just
have
bought,
to
you
scan
need to
it.
scan.
You have
Yeah.
to.
You have to. You can't just assume your shit's good.
Yeah.
That's you shouldn't. I
a
shouldn't
lot
even
of
have to
it
say that.
a lot of it I think we had like, since we have such a big team, we probably had somebody go through and double check.
I would hope because on the
Yeah.
unit it'll tell you if
Yeah,
it's like if you're getting
Yeah,
like,
we
RF
had that. I think a
interference.
lot of it was the fact that we had used so many extra cables, because the cables that we have for the wireless mics, because it goes over the ear into a wireless pack, just it out. Like
Yeah.
we had like one backup pack out of like probably, I want to say somewhere around like 25 different people. We had one backup pack.
Well, I'm going to take a wild stab and say that those university singers aren't always treating their microphones. So.
What? Really?
Mic drop just as a comedy thing.
All I'm
like
saying
before.
is I've worked with like 50 to 60-year-old professional singers who
yeah.
also just like throw their mic
Oh,
wherever, and I'm
yeah.
like, God damn it.
dude, for
My
sure.
favorite part
They're
was
not paying for it. They're not
No.
paying for it. What does it matter,
Yeah.
dude?
Only
They're
a
not the ones that
$250
get-
micro cable to get from their ear to their belt loop.
Look, if it sounds like it's not their fault, so it's fine. That's one of the great things about going into audio engineering.
When you're in a production
When it's not
role,
your fault, it is your fault.
yeah, when you're in a production role, or even like it's like you're doing, even when you're like teching and doing stuff, it's like you're doing a lot of the really hard work, but getting none of the glory, and you got to
No,
be okay
yeah.
with that.
Nobody
you're-
gives a about the sound guy.
People literally just think you like plug in and then it sounds good.
Yeah.
And it's like,
No, you're sitting there
In
every
reality,
night
a lot of
having,
times
like,
it doesn't sound good because it's hard to find good help
Yeah.
around here.
abs.
a lot of the times it's the band's up there having a great time, everybody else is having a great time, and you're in the back just wishing everything would end.
Looking at your watch, and then the band starts playing over.
Yeah.
Dude, I've always said the feeling of like doing like live sound stuff, especially, dude, it's like you just buckle up and
Oh.
write it out.
Oh,
And
it's fine.
I
I've
love,
had-
it.
I've
I
done
love
a-
the feeling of it.
I feel like it's
I
a
don't.
really good,
I don't
like,
really
if
like
you
it.
want
I
if you
don't.
want an adrenaline rush, fucking do it because
Oh,
holy
yeah.
hell.
No.
The worst
What? I have
with
a
equipment
complete.
that doesn't work. Yeah, because you're scared as that something's gonna up. I had that happen once, and everything did go to shit. I was doing sound. I wasn't working the sound. I was working a projector for it was like
It's a good story though.
it was a choir for cancer survivors that were coming in to do a charity. So like all of them had like survived cancer and everything. And they were doing like guest spots throughout the
Yeah, so what?
show.
Whatever. It's cancer.
Anyway, so they had like all these like videos that they wanted to do to like promote their charity that they do and stuff like that. So we're like, okay. So I was like, all right, Andy, you're in charge of like making sure the videos are up and the projector's on and off. And I was like, okay. So throughout all rehearsal, they're like, okay, that number is over. And then we play the video, everything works great. Everything's going fine. Time for the show. I'm getting ready to turn on the projector, blue screen. And keep in mind, this is in Sursa Hall. So they've got that huge projector. And it's just blue screen.
Yeah.
And I hit play on the laptop, and you just hear people talking in the background. And I just... And, like, I just see the eyes of their director just looking at me going, what the did you do? What have you done? I'm just like,
God.
I'm plugging cables in frantically, trying not to like draw attention over here.
Well, the worst thing you can do in that situation is panic.
Well,
I was
doing.
You gotta just be.
down.
Yeah, you gotta calm down.
That's-
I've worked with people that get really
I was
panicky
playing
and
it fairly.
doesn't do good.
That's what I was doing. I was holding my composure, but in my mind, I was like going, oh, and I'm sitting
Even
there.
that, you gotta calm
I'm
down.
moving
to your
stuff
best ability.
everywhere, plugging stuff in, and then so that one was done. There's 3 more videos that have to be played throughout this concert. So I play the next one, still blue screened. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to the back. I'm gonna go into where like all of the projector stuff is, make sure everything's turned on, and everything like that. Go back there. No, everything's turned on. It's good. Go back to the table where everything's at, and they're like, okay, this is the sponsor video. I thought that hopefully they would announce the sponsors. There was no announcing of the sponsors. It was just music.
Well, they paid.
So
to
all
maybe
you're
have
looking
their
at is
sponsors up.
here. All you're looking at is a blue screen, hearing this nice little piano number, and I'm sitting there like half tempted to grab a microphone and just talk out the names of the companies that are sponsoring, and I'm just like, oh, I feel like right now. Like these people went and they survived through cancer and everything else.
Yeah.
and they're here to do this, and everything just gets blown to shit because some idiot can't work a projector.
Oh, that's so brutal.
Did you get yelled at for that, Andy?
Surprisingly, no. I was like dreading it throughout cleanup. Like I was sitting there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get ripped a fucking new one. And they were just like, everything sounded good. I even talked to like the lady afterward, like their head, and I was like, I am so sorry for what happened. Like if there's anything I could do to make it up to. She's like, oh no, it's fine. You're good. We understand. I was like, you are you are a saint.
You got lucky, dude. I know a lot of people that probably would have like physically like.
That's what I was expecting.
you
I was
like eat you alive for that.
I was expecting to get an F in that class for what I did. Like I was like, oh, I failed. I failed a class where it's like impossible to get an F in.
The amount of people who turn into Karens because of AV issues is insane.
That's why I don't want to work in. I was considering doing a little bit of daytime work, doing like hotels and like corporate events, like little sound for that. It's super easy. I could do it. I don't enjoy running. I don't like it. I'd rather play. I'd rather play because it's more fun.
It all looped back around for me because I finished my degree. Yeah. And then I left, and I was like, I just want to write music. And so I started writing music, and I got really into songwriting and really started to love it. And it's just like, since I actually just said like, no, I'm going to be a songwriter and stop being like, yeah, I'll be an engineer and maybe write here and there. It's like, no, I'm going to be a songwriter.
Yeah.
And then it all looped back around because I knew the sound that I wanted, and I knew enough to be able to get the sound that I wanted.
And it helps. It helps me even for what I do with live. I mean, I'm a live musician. That's what I do. I play for people, live music. I don't really do much with recorded stuff. Me knowing what I know from running sound for as long as I have has really helped me a ton. Because like the other day on
Absolutely.
gig, my in-ears were muted on the X32 app, and I had to go over and tell the engineer, "You need to unmute me because you're not muted." I go, "Yes, I am," and then just
Well,
it
I
just
mean,
makes you so much more valuable.
even if you talk to like any like engineer that's like a big name in like the business, the
Like
best
Andy.
thing, like, oh yeah, definitely me, one of the best. I'm the greatest. Um, like every time I've heard them talk about like who are the best people to work with, they're like, it's the guys that come in and one just listen to you, like they understand that you know more about what's going on in the studio than you do,
Yeah.
or it's
yeah.
the guys who come in and they're like, they know what sound they want, they know how to get it,
Exactly.
and we can get in and out and just done.
Hey man, I'm
Exactly.
not like what do you want on this for the drum beat? Oh, you just
I
come
don't
up
know.
with
I
something.
wanted a bit more sparkly. I don't know what the that means.
Sparkly, huh? So
That's
I got
what
a
I hear
bag.
being an engineer is
I
like.
got a bag of pebbles. We could put that on it. It's sparkles.
That's what I hear
I'll
being an
start-
engineer is.
Here's
Well,
a
it
bag.
makes
Literally, what do you
working
want?
with
What do you want? What do you want?
Yeah.
it makes working with other songwriters super nice. And like, so I don't think you know this, Andy. I'm moving to Nashville in like
I
10
think Cole
weeks.
told me that.
I texted
Okay.
him. I was like, we're
Yeah.
gonna visit at some
Yeah,
point.
we're gonna go
Yeah.
visit.
There
Matt.
are places, and I know you know this already, but there's potential to get like essentially like a fairly stable 9 to 5 ish job, like songwriting. Like that's the thing. Like you just go in, grab some coffee, you're in
So
a
it's
room with like
called an 18 for 18 is the first one that you typically land, which is 18 songs and 18 months for 18 grand.
I'm
Which
down.
if I could land one of those eventually, I'd 100% take it because
good.
there's
I'm
my
down.
rent. Like there's
Yeah,
my
I'm-
rent for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then all I have to worry about is the excess. But
it's not expensive to live there either, so it's
no,
good. Especially
yeah.
it's easy to find roommates.
Well, and you want to know the crazy thing? My landlord owns a house in Nashville as well, so I'm just moving to a different
that's
house.
Oh,
funny.
nice.
That's really weird. That's
That works out
awesome.
perfectly.
So legitimately, my lease was up at the end of October,
Yeah,
and she had a room available November 1st.
that's pretty awesome. That's
So
pretty
what
cool.
you're telling me is that over like Christmas or something, me and Cole are gonna go down and we're gonna get shit faced
Absolutely.
in Nashville.
Absolutely, come
And
on
I'm
down.
gonna I'll try to, because I've been debating on whether or not to go to Nashville, like to actually live there, because my dream job is working at Third Man Records there in Nashville, just
Mm.
because I love their setup. Just because
As
it's
an engineer, as ...
I
question
mean,
mark?
honestly,
You start out
anything
as
I would be okay.
you start out as boy, and then you work your way up.
Oh, I've got no problem being boy. In all honesty, I like doing the work of in a studio where it's just
Dude,
like
I mean-
setting up cables and like that. Like
There you go.
that's what I like doing because it's mindless work that I can just go in, get done. I know I'm easily getting it done right and not have to worry about anything the rest of the day. Like, what'd
It's
you
Kind
do
of funny.
today?
I
I
have
organized the mic closet and put cables away.
I have like
And then
zero
people just
desire
get so happy if you do that.
to move to Nashville. Like none at all.
Really?
That's
Honestly,
because for
No.
your type of business, Nashville is
it's a terrible
flooded.
market. It's a
Yeah, for
terrible.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
As a live
it's
musician,
a
it's
terrible
terrible.
market for you.
You
Yeah.
could spit and find somebody that's 8 times better than me. That's willing to work 8 times cheaper than me, man. I don't want to
Yeah.
be in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that
I
means
wanna-
you better
I can
step
make-
up your game.
No, it's like I
Dude.
can make more money here than I can there doing what I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you get to play.
Location, location,
Versus
location.
like I went there
I
and
don't
I
wanna work for
realized that I
tips.
was like, I'm just as good as these songwriters at these songwriter rounds right now. And I can do all of their production and engineering and promotion, et cetera, because like all of these people work with like this dude to do their engineering or that dude. And I'm like, hey, come write with me and I'll do all of your engineering for you. I'm like,
The other
cool.
thing I was thinking about when I was thinking about that area was like I thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, guitar repair work. There's tons of that. And like, I went into a shop and I was talking to everybody has more that like way more work than they can even handle because
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
plays guitar. And I was like, oh, I could do that during the day and play some gigs. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. I want to play live.
That's fair.
That's what I like to do.
Yeah, and that's where like that's why like as a songwriter, that's why it's so attractive.
Right.
Because
yeah.
like there's songwriters everywhere and they're serious about it.
Well,
Yeah,
isn't
there's
they
a lot
picked
of
up
really
their-
good people.
They picked up their whole life and said, I'm moving my whole life to be a songwriter. And like that innately changes the entire conversation
Yeah.
and feeling of working with
well,
somebody.
doesn't that one? I don't know if you got to talk to him when you did Willie's class for the songwriting, but I think that the guest speaker that he had is actually from that area. Is
Oh
around
yeah,
Nashville.
and that's what I was saying too. Like
that's
it's
already a
crazy to
connection
me-
that's there.
It's crazy to me that I can move there as the newest songwriter on the block and hustle my way as far
Yeah.
up the songwriter chain as I
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
Like,
I will
that's
say,
cool
like,
as shit.
staying in, I will say that's one of the best advantages of like going to school for audio engineering is that it is so much easier to get contacts when you get out.
Well, and
like-
I don't know, man. I don't know. Depends.
For you, live playing is easy, but being as like a studio engineer, I mean, to be able to get those contacts with people that
You
are
go and
already
intern.
big name.
You could intern at a studio and get it. I mean, I
yeah,
don't know.
well, I will say to Andy's point there, I went to one songwriter round when I was down there.
Mhm.
And I walked in and talked to the engineer, and I just peppered in. I was like, I actually just finished my degree in engineering about 1.5 years ago. And he immediately was like 5 times more willing to talk with me.
It's interesting.
Well, it's
from the
because
live-
they realize that, like, because especially
Eh.
now with the way that, like, since like especially with like YouTube and stuff, like people will just sit there, they'll get like some free DAW like Audacity or something, and then they're automatically like making beats and stuff like that, which is awesome because, well, one, we know a lot of people that do that just from being in the School of Music and stuff.
Absolutely.
And you can easily make a career out of doing that, or at least make some side cash doing it. But like having the additional information of like knowing the basics of how to use a DAW without having to like repeatedly look up and use presets, and to be able to take those ideas and
I don't
have
think they'd
somebody
hire
show you.
anybody with no.
Yeah.
Well,
they
like-
wouldn't spit in your face.
Exactly.
I
Like, but just-
know more than that, and I
Yeah.
recorded. I barely do. Like I've just sticked around to Logic a little bit. I
think
Well, dude, Logic's becoming the name of the game right now.
is it.
Oh.
I don't stay up to date on much of that. To be
Which is a
honest.
bummer because I was literally just thinking about switching back to Pro Tools.
I hate Pro Tools with a passion.
Dude, you hate it now.
But I've used it and it's okay,
like
but I
Logic.
prefer Studio One so much better.
I said the same thing, dude, and now all of a sudden, 1.5 years later, I'm like, I kind of miss Pro Tools.
I had to use it for doing stuff for Benny Rec.
Studio One assumes a lot.
I actually kind of like Studio One. I've used it before. It's actually kind of.
I like it. I
Logic's
like
my favorite though.
the guy who I do songwriting with here in
Mm-hmm.
Denver is a Pro Tools guy. And the more that I've sat and worked back in Pro Tools with him here recently, the more I'm like, I love how like everything's so analog, which I really enjoy. Like you have to get from point A to point B. And I don't know. I just kind of dig it. I've been digging it.
I've
lately.
never
For me,
used Pro Tools ever.
I think
actually.
with Pro
Really?
Tools,
Well, I'm not. I don't. I record.
he
barely
never got to
anything.
that point really. But I think with Pro
I
Tools,
didn't. Yeah, I didn't learn at a Ball State about
I
audio
think
production.
once
honestly.
just because I haven't used it a lot is the reason why I don't like it. Because if you're new going into it, it is a to learn.
Oh,
everything.
it's a behemoth
Is it?
of a dog.
Oh, it is. There's
Logic's
so
pretty
many.
user
Well, that's-
friendly.
Oh yeah, Logic is like the easy version of Pro Tools, kind of, just to like put it in a quick sentence.
Well, and that's
like-
what I was like kind of getting at of like Studio One and Logic both assume a lot of things for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
for the
it's-
first one I ever used, it was.
Exactly.
I mean, I've never had trouble with it.
Is you're on your
Pro
own.
Tools doesn't assume.
You have a lot more creative range.
I've used
and
Reaper a little
flexibility
bit
in it.
too. I kind of like Reaper. It's okay.
I dig Reaper. I
It's
messed around
fine.
with it for a bit. I
It's
couldn't
there.
get some of my VSTs and stuff loaded into it, so I gave up on it. I'll be
Right.
totally honest. But
I like that it's free.
Yeah.
If you're still
Don't we all?
evaluating it, which I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want it yet or not. I'm still evaluating.
Oh yeah, I'm still trying to figure out.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode of Two Dudes News and Brews. If you like this episode, make sure you hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe and the notification bell. The continuation of this one will be out next week, same day, same time. But while you're waiting, how about you check out some of our other videos that we've put out. Also, we've got a Halloween special that's in the works right now, and we're really excited to do that for you. So be on the lookout for that as well. That's all. Have a good one.